I want to be clear that everyone in the organization, starting with the front office, our coaching staff, our support staff, and our players, will focus with immediate urgency on the things within their role that drive toward winning. Now listen, I want to say this very clearly because I know a lot has been rumored and written and said about this topic. We will be a scouting-centered front office because I've always believed and continue to believe scouting to be the lifeblood of roster building in the NFL. But we also are going to incorporate information and research and insights into our decision making. I was thinking about it as we were watching the Super Bowl this past weekend, and the best team in the NFC in the San Francisco 49ers, the best team in our own division, the Baltimore Ravens, and the best team in the NFC East, the organization that I came from with the Philadelphia Eagles, are all industry leaders in this space. And we would be silly not to push on every area that could give us a competitive advantage as we make decisions. One of the major attractions to returning to Cleveland for me that I haven't mentioned already is the opportunity to partner with Kevin Stefanski. Kevin and I got to know each other during last year's coaching search and maintained a genuine friendship from that point in time. I can assure everybody in this room that outside of Kevin's wife, Michelle, there's no bigger believer in and supporter of Kevin than me. Kevin and I have a shared vision regarding football philosophy, culture, and servant leadership that we think will lead towards success, and that forms the core basis for my excitement for what I know will be a deeper partnership over the next several years. You see, I believe success in the NFL comes from good people, and good people come from all walks of life. And it's for that reason that we're going to be very deliberate in pushing diversity across football operations because it leads to success. And I know that I've been the benefactor of people looking beyond my age and my race throughout every phase of my career. Any roster assessment should incorporate a number of different perspectives. I certainly have my own view. I think it's important to incorporate our pro personnel staff. We're still building a coaching staff, and I think it's important to get their perspective on our players and their fit within our offense and defensive systems. But look, the roster is, there are definitely a lot of young core pieces at key spots. We certainly have a very strong foundation upon which to build, but that doesn't mean that we don't have work to do, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to add competition and talent really across every position.
You came from a regime that built a 1-31 roster, and how will things be different than they were at that time?
Yeah, no, I certainly understand that question, Mary Kay, and the reality of it is that stretch was a very painful period for our fans, for the city, and for everybody internally in the organization. I can assure you that all of us that were there during that time period, we were equally disappointed with the results during that time. Now, the one thing I can say is that the team, the organization, it's at a much different state than it was heading into that 2016 season, whether it's the foundation of the roster, the overall strategy. It's no secret that the strategy at the time was to accumulate assets, whether it's cap space, picks, and players that would lead to a foundation of long-term success. But I can assure you that winning is at the forefront of everyone's minds in the organization, and we're looking forward to pursuing that over the next several months. The reality is there is going to be some growing on the job, right? First-time general manager. Nobody's going to be perfect, but I feel very, very prepared in the role, and I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to execute.
What's your philosophy when it comes to